All right, you guys, what's going on? Got a special guest, got the correspondent, got Migz in the building, aka Kobe. So we gonna do a live stream and give him his props because it's late in the NYC. It's very late out there. You know what I'm saying? He got shit to do, but he took the time out to come on the show. So basically gonna talk about what happened in tonight's event. I guess if that's what you want to call the event. I don't know what that main event was called. Um, but but let me ask you this, Migz. What's your analysis of the overall show, overall card? And I also want you to speak on what happened with Shoo Shoo.
Yeah, so just to start off, we're gonna start off with the overall presentation. If I could give it from a 1 to a 10, aside from the lagging issues, I guess Netflix, I'm not too sure what their subscriber base is at, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people were interested in the fight. Aside from the lagging issues, I know Netflix wasn't prepared for that type of turnout, but I would probably give it a solid 8 out of 10, 8.5, maybe a 9 if I go back and watch it, which I probably won't. But yeah, from the announcing team, I think Rosie Perez did a solid job. Roy, he's always good with color commentary. Dre, very knowledgeable guy. You had Cedric the Entertainer. He looked like King Jaffe on there, and I forget Katie Scott now. So I think that on the overall was pretty solid. So they had an overall they had a really good presentation. If you want to start with the opening bout, which was Shushu, I don't like the fact that Shushu, who's a rising prospect, although he's not this is obviously not a traditional promoter's card or showcase, but I still think he deserved at least to open the main card. His performance was really good. He bounced back from the previous fight where he didn't have the usual knockout win or knockdown performance. But he came back and he boxed really well on that front. And yeah, I think the production was really good. If you want, we could just talk about the main card now. You could give me your breakdown, and then we could just go from there.
Yeah, hold on, real quick. Okay, my overall assessment of how they put it together, it looked great. I mean, it looked great. The presentation, I thought everybody did an exceptional job. Rosie Perez, I think that was like her first time out, like on the main stage. She's done some color commentary before, but I thought she did decent enough, you know, for being on an event of that stature. I thought she did a decent job, and Dre is Dre. Cedric the Entertainer. I don't know what was up with that outfit he had on. And it seems like a lot of stars came out. You know, we was supposed to be there, but we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what Jake Paul's team did to us, but we'll talk about that on the later date. Lying motherfuckers. But anyway, with that being said, with that being with that being said, I mean, except for the main event, which we'll save the best for last, or should I say the worst for last, or whatever that was, what we just witnessed like about an hour and some change ago. But the first fight, I didn't see the actual first fight, but the first fight I walked in on was when Mario Barrios was coming into the ring versus Abel Ramos. And we both familiar with both those guys. And it
Pretty
got
much.
very interesting. It got interesting after the third round. That's when they started to turn up the heat. I thought it was a good fight. I had Mario Barrios winning 8 rounds to 4, even though he got dropped. I thought for basically the first 5 rounds, he pretty much, dominated, or at least had the fight in complete control. And basically he ended up getting dropped in like the sixth, and then I think he lost like maybe 4 rounds straight. But I thought that he won the last 3 rounds clearly to secure the fight. So I was kind of scratching my head a little bit about why the fight was a draw. But at the end of the day, we just cover boxing. We don't score fights. I thought it was pretty obvious to see who won the fight, but once again, we just cover fights. We don't score fights. Now, as far as the best overall fight was Amanda Serrano's and Katie Taylor too, and it appears, according to the judges, that Katie Taylor just seems to have Amanda Serrano's number. She just finds a way to win the fight. It was a great competitive fight, great action packed fight. Me myself, I had it a draw because I did like the work that Katie Taylor did, fighting on the inside, using those combinations. But I just think if she would have had a more balanced up and down attack, if she would have been racking, Serrano's to the body a little bit more, and she hit her with some nice, lefts occasionally. The combination punching, I think, is what wowed the judges to go her way. And I understand why people thought Amanda Serrano's may have won the fight, but I just had it a draw, and I know that they took away a point, whatever the case may be. But I don't. This is one of these things. I just don't see this robbery stuff. It's just one of them things where I just think the judges just like how Katie Taylor fight. I did think that. I did think that the broadcasters was a little too pro Amanda Serrano's. I think they were a little too pro Serrano's, and I understand that Rosie Perez is Puerto Rican, and she's Puerto Rican American, so I kind of understood that. But I thought Katie Taylor fought well enough for at least to at least get a draw. I had it a draw.
Um,
I had it a draw, and that's just pretty much it. Now I'll let you give your assessment of the first two fights, and then we'll go to whatever that was
and
that
yeah,
we
the main
call it.
event.
Yeah.
Um, as far as the just to scale back, the Mario Barrios fight. Just want to cook real quick. For the Barrios fight, I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep. I dozed off for a second, maybe around the second round. Woke back up, was watching the fight, analyzing the fight, and I kind of seen that Barrios was, I don't know what it is with Mario Barrios. And I'm gonna say this, you know, as far as the champions are concerned at the welterweight division, we haven't seen Stanio in this fight in 2 years. So when it comes to Brian Norman Boots, Mario Barrios, Abel Ramos, I just my assessment, he was brought into the event because he was an easy lick in my from the way I looked at things, and Mario Barrios just really was just underwhelming. When you're the champion and you're coming off of the wins that he had, I'm expecting him to try to put on a show. Now he did put on a show. It was an exciting fight. I get that, but Abel Ramos is not. It should not. I should say. Let me fix my words. He should not be on the same level as a Mario Barrios, who's a younger, spry fighter. And I'm not gonna lie, Mario Barrios looked like he got beat in the face by a hammer by the time that fight ended. So, and I didn't score the fight in favor of Barrios. To be honest, if anything, I had it a draw. But and it's really not about the scoring. It's just about his performance overall. It was very underwhelming for anybody to even say that Boots would struggle with, or Brian Norman would struggle with the likes of Mario Barrios. I never thought Mario Barrios was even a B level welterweight. So when I seen that performance, it just confirmed to me that he just gonna hold the belt for a little while, and he probably won't be looking to unify. Um, After that, the Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano fight, man, that was really. This is the second fight where we've had the opportunity to cover that that fight, and we didn't get to actually cover the fight. It was disappointing that I actually missed this one. I want to give a shout out to Amanda Serrano, uh, just for thugging it out and fighting through that nasty cut, because that was a really disgusting cut. That was another fight that I wouldn't call it a robbery either. It wouldn't be fair to call that a robbery when we came off of fights like Beterbiev, Bivol, and countless other fights that were really close. Fulton and Figueroa, where the fights were razor thin. There were a lot of swing rounds, and it really depends on what you like, the judges like. But and I'm gonna be honest, town. I'm from New York. I had a little New York bias there, and I was rooting for Serrano. So if I'll go back and watch and score it, but me, I'm not really a big fan of those keep away combinations. Though there was really no intent behind a lot of those punches that Katie Taylor was throwing. But I'm not mad at it. If you guys you know think that Katie Taylor won that fight, I really ain't mad at it. If they win a third time, it'll be cool. Um, but to be honest, I really think it's time for Katie Taylor if she doesn't, call it quits because those are two wars that she was in, and those do take a lot out of you. Same with Serrano. Either or, if they fought Alicia Bumgarner, I think those would be mega fights as well. So I'm all for seeing that. Or if they retire, decide to walk away, that's cool too. But as far clearly the fight that stole the show was that really was the reason why I even watched the card. So shout out to them. They put on another classic fight. They have two fights considered the greatest female fights in the history of female boxing. So that was really a show that they put on. And
Yeah.
and you a sneakerhead. You didn't see Amanda Serrano had those 11s on.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I. That's a hard pass for me. That's
yeah,
that's a
definitely. I
hard
can.
pass.
Yeah, what is that? Velvet? That's not that. I
Yeah.
don't do velvet
Yeah. That's a
shoes.
hard pass. I'll pass. I'll pass on them. So that's a hard pass. And then actually seeing somebody wearing them. And that's funny because she one of the very few athletes that wear like actual sneakers.
Sneakers in
So
the ring.
so I guess she's living proof. I mean, she fought very well for the most part, but at the end of the day, she didn't get the nod. I thought Kaylee Taylor's combination punches was doing some damage because she rocked Serrano's a few times. She rocked her quite a few times, and she got
Yeah,
rocked
she.
too. So that's what I think made it. That's what I think made it a great fight. But let me ask you something. Me myself, if somebody already technically, whether you happy with the decision or not, technically she has two wins versus
Amanda
Serrano's.
Serrano. Yeah, she does.
So now what happens if there's a third fight? So let's just say they fight again and Serrano's gets the nod. Well, then people gonna say, okay,
Well, we gotta have a
um,
fourth one.
we a fourth one. And then if Serrano's wins two back-to-back fights, then people gonna say, well,
Let's
let's
just
have
have a fifth one.
yeah. So you gotta ask yourself, do you want to keep doing that? Probably Katie Taylor's just gonna move on. She probably just gonna be like, hey, I beat her twice. It is what it is. Well, I
I
like
mean,
how she handled,
if you if
basically people booing. She said, hey, I don't give a damn.
if you look back and you kind of listen to what Amanda Serrano was talking to in her post fight interview, I think she kind of alluded to the fact that she was going to move on because she had made a statement that, hey, I'm a champion in a different division and I'm moving up to fight this girl. So I just think that she kind of hinted that, they closed the chapter on that one. So I think the only thing that could bring them in is like a major bag. And I think it's a bag that's not really available for female boxers to get right now. And that's the only credit that I give to Jake Paul when it comes to the sport of boxing is that he's he's given his platform up to have female boxing put to the forefront and put on a major stage. So that's a credit that I can't really take away from him, if that makes any sense.
Nah, that's fine. I like, as far as that go, I like that he's tried to open up the door and have his own platform, another promotional company besides the main event. Well, the other fights were on the up and up. Whether you like the decision or not, I guess for the most part you can say the fights were on the up and up, except for the main event. And we gonna talk about the main event right now because I know you got to get some rest and stuff, and then I got to do the late night workout. So, um, okay, so I'm gonna let you go first. What did you think of Mike Tyson and Jake Paul? Some people are calling him fake Paul.
Yeah, I see. Who's that? Damian Cooper calling him fake Paul. You know, um, I'm allowed to speak freely on here, right?
Of course. Just
Okay,
yeah,
because
just don't make just don't be talking about no
no, no,
running in
you.
those don't be
Mhm.
talking about no running in no Nike outlets and all that kind of
No,
shit.
no,
Yeah,
no, no. We ain't
yeah,
doing
dude.
that. No,
Yeah,
no.
dude, say what you need to say. We passed the 2 minute mark.
I'm a just be I'm gonna keep it G real. You know, and it's kind of hard for me to get to say this, but I just feel like I saw this coming. Uh, I didn't expect much from Mike. And I'm gonna leave you to ripping Jake. But and I'm just gonna be we gonna play good cop bad cop on this one. And I'm just gonna turn my attention to Mike Tyson. I just want to give you guys some perspective on where I'm coming from. Mike Tyson is, he's a polarizing figure in the sport of not just the sport of boxing, but just in popular culture when it comes to just American culture and just culture, all cultures across the globe where media can touch people. Mike Tyson is a synonymous name and he's a infamous name. What I think this was just it's sad to see because you had someone who in their heyday and in the prime of their life, they had the world at their hands, and bad decision making, whether he was cognitive of it, whether it was you know not due to his control or it was people using him or anything like that. It all came down to tonight, and it really it's sad to watch because you see like this man put in years and years and years of hard work into his craft, and it kind of wasted away to the point where he became a circus show, and that's what tonight was. I was not going to watch this fight. I repeat, I was not going to watch this fight, and the reason being is that I refuse to watch someone who's literally an icon and was an idol to many. He just kind of, for lack of a better word, sold himself for the highest payout. And it showed tonight. Mike was in there, and he just did not look. Everybody was expecting Mike to be Mike, and he was not Mike. And I think I said this on CJ's platform. Shout out to Goodfellas Sport TV. Whoever let Mike go in there, whoever sanctioned that fight, whoever advised Mike and brought that contract to him, they did not give a damn about Mike's well being, his health, anything like that. They just cared about the money. And it showed tonight. He didn't look good, and shame on Jake Paul, for bringing Mike into that ring. Sometimes not all entertainment is good entertainment. This man is 60. He's old enough to be Jake Paul's father, and hasn't had a real professional fight since 2003. Um, it's just the joint with Roy Jones that was good for nostalgia. We were in a different time period, um, due to circumstances that were out of our control. But this here, like that was just shameful and it was a disgrace. And people saying that it brought eyes to the sport. This, if anything, this hurts the sport because what the casual fan was expecting was something that never was going to happen. If you follow the sport, which many of you do who watch this channel, and you keep in tune and in touch with the sport, you knew that this wasn't going to be that. Oh, you might have had maybe a little inkling that Mike could turn the clock back and just pop Jake one good time and knock his spark out. But we knew that wasn't going to happen. And he goes out there, and we get this. And I don't know if you guys heard, but there was a lot of booze out there. Now, does it make dollars for Netflix? Yeah. Does it make dollars for Jerry Jones? Of course. Does it make dollars for Jake Paul, who's the promoter of the event? Yeah. Hopefully, Mike gets something on the back end, but I just don't think that $25 million was worth it. And I just feel like that event, outside of the real fights, that was a circus show and a spectacle, even down to the part where Mike was getting interviewed by his son, which I thought was cool until they panned away and you see Mike's bare ass on camera, even down to that, like that wasn't necessary. They clearly made a fool of this man, and after the first 2 rounds, you could see it in Mike's eyes that he didn't want to be there, man. He was just sitting there wondering when the wire was gonna hit, So that was it. Like I just don't think that Mike should have been in there, and I would like to see Jake Paul actually go into the ring with somebody. Well, you know what? Jake Paul is campaigned at, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere between super middleweight and light heavyweight. Why not? Let's get Jake Paul to go in there with somebody who's retired and who has a bad knee, just like Mike Tyson. And I think Andre Ward would be a perfect candidate for Jake Paul to go up against in his next fight. How about you, Tom?
Let me tell you something. Andre Ward got too much pride and dignity to even stoop down to that level. But if Andre Ward was to do it, Andre Ward is not going to lose. And Andre Ward, when I say he would beat the hell out of Jake Paul, he would beat his body up. He would beat him down. I think but if I know Andre Ward how he thinks, Andre Ward probably after the fight, Andre Ward may be retired, but he still studies boxing. He's still a student of the game. He studies things. He calculates things. He absorbs the data. I'm pretty sure Andre Ward is thinking to himself, well, I'm not going to call him out, but if he calls me out, remember, 3 years ago, he dared Canelo. He said, if Canelo calls me out,
he said,
I'll come out of retirement.
He was waiting.
And Canelo
never did.
And Canelo never did it.
Canelo didn't. Canelo acted like he didn't know English.
Well, he knows English, and he knows that's an ass whooping.
Yes, so he definitely knew that.
So okay, so let me say this about Mike Tyson. I'm older than you. I knew that I wasn't going to see Mike Tyson from 1989. I just was hoping, but as a fan, you just hope you have this vision. It's a difference between having a vision and then reality. I had a vision that Mike Tyson would throw a punch that would put Jake Paul's lights out. But I just thought that Mike Tyson, at the very least, would just do what I thought would happen tonight. Just basically don't get knocked out and don't knock Jake Paul out. Now, Carl Froch, retired Hall of Fame fighter Carl Froch, has said that this was going to happen. He says that Jake Paul puts in his contracts that he can't get knocked out.
And I believe it 1,000%.
Carl Froch been on Jake Paul for years calling him a fraud, but I'm going to tell you this much. After what I saw tonight, he's truly earned the name Fake Paul. He ought to be ashamed of himself.
Fake Paul, because mistake. We could call him Fake Paul, Mistake Paul.
Yeah, I mean, for him to just keep this charade up, and now the masquerade is over. Okay, it's like, dude, what's next? You're not going to get away with this anymore. I think Jake Paul will be even more disliked tomorrow when everybody wakes up and lets this, sink in.
Sink in. It's a eyesore.
I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this. Boxing already is in deep trouble as it is. Oh, yeah. You don't think somebody like Dana White is going, and I'm telling you, Dana White is going to have something to say because they got UFC card tomorrow. And then Oscar is going to have something to say
yep, because his card is tomorrow as well.
So,
I mean, like we said, to me, it's an eyesore, and it gets the casuals riled up in the wrong way. And it turns eyes away from the sport because it's bad enough that if we have, let's say, our top 5 fighters in the sport, it's bad enough that our top 5 fighters are not popular amongst, U.S. athletes. They're just not. And when you look at, this fight here, it was supposed to reel fighters in, and I feel like the peak The peak of the event was actually, the Serrano and Katie Taylor fight, and that was great. But then, everybody was like, "Wow, this is the appetizer, so the main course got to be better." And it kind of like fell off the cliff. And when you think about Jake Paul, fake Paul, mistake Paul, there's nothing really for. The only thing he can really do is bring somebody else whose namesake is going to be just as big as Mike or just as controversial as Mike. There's only two names that I could think of. You guys are probably thinking of the names too, and it might be a Floyd Mayweather or a Conor McGregor that he tries to pull in order to sell more product. But other than that, what else can you do? Like what else is going to be out there for people to go say, "Oh, we want to see Jake Paul fight again." There's nothing else he can do outside of fighting a real boxer. That's the only thing he can do. And the fact that this now and him selling that many tickets, and it's not really him selling the tickets, it's Mike selling the tickets. It really makes him an option for Canelo Alvarez, which I feel like is ridiculous. But we know who Canelo don't want to fight. But now this gives him actually an extra option. So I just feel like, the sport doesn't benefit from this at all in any way whatsoever.
Okay, that's a good assessment. I don't know what's going through Canelo's head right now because you would have to if okay, let's just say Canelo calls his bluff. How does Canelo justify fighting Jake Paul when there's an actual fight out there which he could make upwards of like at least $70 million fighting somebody like David Benavidez? But now it got to the point to where
And
David
probably
Benavidez,
100 plus fighting Terrence Crawford.
yeah, and I think it got to the point to where David Benavidez pretty much said he's staying at light heavyweight, even though Canelo has fought at light heavyweight a couple of times. But I think Canelo, he's just not comfortable with the David Benavidez fight. I think he knows that he could just beat Jake Paul just off the fact that Jake Paul lacks boxing IQ, and Jake Paul is, he loads up a lot. I mean, you can see his punches coming a mile away.
A mile away. A mile away.
And for the fact that Mike Tyson was able to absorb those punches, and Mike Tyson blocked a lot of his best shots. He was able to get out of the way from the hook. And, Jake Paul hit him a couple of times, but you have to look at this. This is not a win-win for Jake Paul because now the fact that you were saying that you were going to knock him out, he was going to die. Now it's like, bro, you wanted us to take you serious, but at the end of the day, you couldn't even knock out a 58-year-old shell of himself, yeah. Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson.
So what's out there for you? Like at the end of the day, people now see who you really are, dude. This charade probably is over tonight. Listen. Remember I was telling you how his co-founder was looking when the final bell rung and how he was looking like, damn, he had that. We done fucked up. Because I think he was shocked that Jake Paul wasn't able to get Mike Tyson out of there. And then Jake Paul was doing a lot of backpedaling. He was on his bicycle a lot throughout that fight. Because when Mike Tyson touched him, Mike Tyson touched him with a counter hook. And Jake Paul was like, I'm going to play it safe. He was like, I can't get hit with too many of these. Because what's worse, Jake Paul knows that he can't become a meme. And then here's the thing. If Jake Paul's name had been Tyrone and he had melanin in him, people would have said he was running.
Yeah, they definitely would have.
Running, which I mean, he was like, you would think somebody like him would go in there and try to slug it out with Mike Tyson. Just goes to show you he don't believe in his power that much. But then this is Mike Tyson talking about. The funny part about it is, when you think about it, did the fight go any other way than what people with common sense or just people that was in touch with reality thought it would go? Keep in mind, Mike Tyson, I remember this, and I didn't want to say this to nobody, but unfortunately, Mike Tyson, his last professional fight, he quit on the stool.
He quit.
So, Did you see that any other way? When reality sinks in, it's like, okay, reality sunk in, and I'm like, you know, I just was happy. I'll say it's kind of a moral victory because he didn't get knocked out. It just looked as what we thought it would be. Old man Mike Tyson.
Yeah, and remember, Mike Tyson was at a point in his life when he was the twilight of his career when he was active. He was admitting, "I'm fighting to pay my bills, pay the IRS." So, and Mike Tyson had said a long time ago that he had lost the will to fight. I don't know how you lose the will to fight when you're still in your athletic prime, and all of a sudden you gain the will to fight when you're a middle aged man. It just doesn't make sense. So people weren't reading between the lines, and I just feel like I just feel like people.
Did well, let me ask you, did I ever tell you behind the scenes that I thought Mike Tyson was gonna win this fight?
Hell no, you told me what you wanted Mike Tyson to do. And you
Yeah.
know how I
Uh,
react. Yeah, nigga, you can want that all you want, but
yeah,
that's not how
yeah,
shit is gonna work.
yeah,
We knew what was up. We knew what
you
was up.
know.
And
So
I ain't gonna say what I told you before the whole thing because I feel like it's a little bit too controversial for your channel. I don't want to get it banned or anything like that. But you know who sent who the message, and you know what message went through.
yeah, I understand. I understand completely. So like I said, Mike Tyson. Um, I'll tell you who did benefit. Who was the real? You know who was the real winner in this?
Who?
Jerry Jones. Because once
Oh
again,
well,
he got to host a big event, and Jerry's land.
somehow.
Got to give Jerry Jones credit. Jerry
And,
Jones
and
is a
and
smart
did you notice?
businessman.
Did you notice that he had his favorite boy up there sitting next to? Oh shit! Did I just
Oh,
say
he
that on the
always
channel?
have. He always have him up there. The cover for him. His favorite Negro whisperer. But
Yeah, his favorite his favorite his favorite overseer. Um,
yeah, yeah. What's the
the
matter, boss? We sick, but
wait, remember you seen Django, right? And I'm pretty sure everybody out there listening seen Django. Do y'all remember Steven from Django? Where he says, "I sure do misses you. I misses you like a rock in my shoe. I misses you like a baby misses his mammy's tit." That's exactly who the hell he. That's
yeah.
exactly who the hell he is to.
That's unfortunate too. That's real unfortunate. But Jerry Jones getting his karma because at the end of the day, the Cowboys haven't won a Super Bowl since the early '90s. They haven't won a Super Bowl in a while.
I think what was it, 95?
Yeah, it's been a minute. They haven't won a Super Bowl in a minute. So
95. And
I
listen,
think they haven't won a Super Bowl since Ready to Die was a new release. I think that's the last time.
damn.
Yeah, I think that's the last time um, they won a Super Bowl when Who Shot You was upcoming mixtape single. But that was
Let me tell you this, and I just want to say, Sir Biscuits pointed this out before the fight too. He had said that Jake Paul was a bum, and that Mike Tyson.
yeah,
About time. Yeah, that's the time he tell the truth. When he don't got his biscuits with extra jelly, he like his biscuits with margarine and and jelly, grape jelly.
yeah. That that's a good assess. That's a good assessment. So what I mean for real, like, is anybody interested in see? I'm to the point. I just Jake Paul would go away now. Like I don't want to see this anymore. I've had enough of this. This dude, and what trips me out, he say he deserves respect. Like
From
like
who?
how do you deserve? Like he the type of dude. He the type of dude. like back in the day, I hate to use this analysis. He the type of dude like if you was trying to get put on, and they tell you to go do something. He the type of dude if they told you to go jump and rob somebody, he the type of dude to wait till after everything is done and he'll go over there and kick the dude. After everybody then put in the work. That's the type of dude that he is. And then he talks all this stuff like he should get all this credit for doing nothing. What he tries to do is Migz, he tries to Christopher Columbus everything. He tries to do stuff that's already been done. And to be honest with you, this is just a tired act. It's like Y.E. Coyote. You know what I'm saying? He continues to buy stuff like for real. We just seen enough of this. Like Y.E. Coyote, for some reason, every time he bought something from Acme, he knew it wouldn't work. He knew it wouldn't work. It would be defective. But what would he do? He is keep buying stuff from Acme.
Yep.
Like, so as boxing fans, he's Acme'd us enough. This doesn't work. I don't want to see this bullshit anymore. He needs to go the fuck away. Either fight somebody that's under the age of 40 or get out of here. Take a hike, dude. Nobody ain't putting no respect on your name, dude. You don't deserve no respect. No. Like, dude, could you please do something different? Could you actually fight for real? A fighter that's under 40. Could you fight
And
something
fight
for
somebody
real?
that's ranked. Fight somebody that's ranked at least.
Why don't he just fight Caleb Plant? That fight was sealed.
I think it would.
I could see the promo for it. It would be called White Boy Magic or something. I mean, man, that fight would do numbers. I'm gonna ask Caleb Plant but we all know Caleb Plant would beat the living dog shit out of Jake Paul.
I think so too. I think so
But
too. I just feel like Jake Paul, fuck it. If you really want to call a retired boxer, I'll call out one of the Klitschko's.
too dangerous for him. Too dangerous for him.
If you beat one heavyweight, you could beat them all. Like I said, like you said, to reiterate what you said, the sport is at a point where Jake Paul he's not needed, and if you're not gonna fight somebody who's ranked within the top, I'm gonna be lenient and say the top 30. There's no need for us to really be watching you and tuning into events because you're just showing us that you're not serious about the sport. You're just concerned with taking people's money and making the biggest spectacle possible.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I won't be asking to cover any of his fights anymore. But then again, his team was constantly bugging us, asking us to do promotions, asking us to do promotions for the fight, and then when it came time to get into the fight, then they didn't want to let nobody into the fight. So never again. I don't even know how these fools got my email. That's what I'm trying to figure. I don't even know how they got it cut, how they found out who I was. But cool. Won't happen again. Won't happen. I promise you, you won't get a chance to do that to me again. So at the end of the day, okay, you got me. You got me. You
I've
got
only
me.
been to one of his events. I was treated fairly, but like when you do stuff like that, you kind of burning bridges. So, if
They lucky I ain't at. They lucky I wasn't at that press conference because he would have had security to throw me out. Because I would have been the dude that would have had the guts, like I did with Lomachenko when he was sitting up there fronting, acting like he actually beat Devin Haney. When I got him to admit that he should have did more, I would have said, Jake, is your next fight gonna be against somebody under 40? Could you at least promise us that your next fight will be against somebody under 40? I mean, you fought a
somebody
dude
worth,
that you got you got a dude in the ring that was a grandfather.
well, question. So if Jake Paul said that he was gonna fight Conor McGregor next, how would you feel about that?
For what? Conor McGregor got 100 million out of Floyd Mayweather. Why would I want to see him fight Conor McGregor? Once again, nobody cares to see him fight Conor McGregor. Besides, Jake Paul is like, maybe right now at this point in time, he might be at least 40 pounds bigger, because Conor McGregor did put on weight to do the reboot of Roadhouse. But I still don't think Conor McGregor is at like 200 pounds. I think Conor McGregor probably was like at 170 or something for the reboot of Roadhouse, which, by the way, was trash. But why would I be interested in seeing him fight Conor McGregor? If Jake Paul really wanted to impress me, Jake Paul would say, you know what? I'll fight. I'll fight somebody like I said. I'll fight Arthur Beterbiev, or I'll fight David Benavidez. I'll fight David Morrell.
Shit,
Okay,
we don't even
I'll
gotta give
slim
him that.
down. I'll fight him at a catch weight. I'll fight either one of those dudes at a catch weight of 190.
You know what I think would be even better? We don't even got to give him that strict of a test. We could give him Ben Whitaker.
Oh,
Ben Whitaker.
Yeah, Ben Whitaker is funny.
Viral sensation. Jake Paul is a viral sensation, and they fight in a pay-per-view matchup. I think that's fair.
Yeah, I could dig that.
Him versus Ben Whitaker. Ben Whitaker, I don't even think Ben Whitaker ranked within the top 20. I think that's fair enough. And it's a winnable fight for him. And one that people will want to,
But the problem is, I think Ben Whitaker, unfortunately, his name ain't out there like that yet. You would like, probably the people that's gonna listen to this later on is gonna have to like type him up on, or go to the YouTube search engine. But I didn't like what I saw in Ben Whitaker his last outing, because some people questioned whether he, basically took himself out of the fight, because
look, and that's even better. That's even better for Jake Paul. He was struggling his last fight. He got a shot. See, I'm building it up already.
Yeah, but like I said, the problem is with Ben Whitaker, for name's sake, he's not a big enough name. I can name a few people that would be a sellable fight, which would do numbers, but once again, it's too rich. It's one guy in particular. I'm not gonna say his name, but there could be a surprise along the way, but we'll see. So, but listen, we gotta take care of business tomorrow. So I know it's late out there. Mm-hmm. But I appreciate you coming on here, and me and Migz gonna do this again. So but we decided that we needed to go live and talk about this. So
yeah, definitely. I just want to say I appreciate you letting me on to your platform, and just giving my opinion. Shout out to you for giving me the opportunities and opening the doors for me and whatnot, and everybody for listening. And liking and sharing the videos. And there's more to come.
And there you have it. So appreciate you guys being here. I got to get some rest too. I'm going to lay down for a little bit and go to the gym. No glizzies tonight. So
hey, yo, pause.
All right.
All right, peace.
All right.